The revelation you weren't supposed to discover. I'm going to tell you something right up front that might make some religious folks uncomfortable. The church has been teaching Revelation 12 with the sound muted. For over 40 years, I've been digging into ancient texts that most believers don't even know exist. I'm talking about the Ethiopian Bible with its 81 books, Isaac Newton's secret theological manuscripts that the Royal Society kept locked away, Aramaic Peshitta texts that predate your English Bible by centuries, the Zohar's mystical revelations about the Shekinah glory, Talmudic accounts of Lucifer's fall that'll make your hair stand on end, and the Book of Enoch, that explosive text that the early church fathers quoted but later generations tried to bury. What I found changed everything I thought I knew about the woman and the dragon. Here's what the Holy Spirit showed me that you need to understand right now in 2025. The vision John saw on Patmos wasn't just about the past. It wasn't even primarily about the future. It was about a cosmic legal precedent that determines whether you walk in victory or defeat today. It's about a warfare strategy that's been hidden in celestial signs, ancient languages, and prophetic symbolism that most preachers skip over because they don't have the tools or the guts to unpack it. The woman isn't who you think she is. The dragon isn't operating the way you've been taught. And the battle? It's already been decided, but the enemy's banking on you not knowing how to enforce the victory. Why this study matters in 2025. We're not in Kansas anymore, saints. The geopolitical landscape, the celestial alignments, the acceleration of prophetic fulfillment, it's all converging. While religious folks are arguing about pre-trib versus post-trib, the dragon is executing a strategy that's been in play since before Adam took his first breath. 2025 isn't just another year. The astrophysical events, the political realignments, the spiritual awakening happening globally, it all echoes Revelation 12's cosmic drama. And if you don't understand what really happened when there was war in heaven, you're going to miss your assignment in this season. This book is going to take you deep. We're going archaeological, astronomical, linguistic, and prophetically nuclear. I'm pulling from sources that took me decades to access and understand. And I'm writing it in a voice that won't put you to sleep with religious jargon, because the dragon's not sleeping, and neither should you. Buckle up. We're about to go where most Bible teachers fear to tread. Chapter 1, The Black Heart. Tracing Satan's fall from cosmic glory to cursed serpent before the dragon, there was Lucifer. Let's start at the real beginning, not Genesis 1:1, but before that. Before there were galaxies spinning in the void, before angels sang at creation's dawn, there was a throne room. And in that throne room there was a covering cherub named Halel ben Shachar, Lucifer, son of the morning. The prophet Ezekiel gives us the resume. You were the anointed cherub who covers. I established you. You were on the holy mountain of God. You walked back and forth in the midst of fiery stones. You were perfect in your ways from the day you were created, till iniquity was found in you. Ezekiel 28:14, 15, NKJV. Here's what most preachers won't tell you. The Hebrew word for covers is sokek. It means he was the guardian, the protector of the very throne of God. This wasn't some junior angel. This was the CEO of heaven's angelic administration. The Zohar calls him the light of the supreme holiness before his fall, the being who carried the very radiance of God's presence to the angelic hosts. The Ethiopian Bible's expanded account, the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church preserved texts that Western Christianity lost or rejected. In their expanded Book of Enoch, not just the 108 chapters we know, but additional material, there's a detailed account of what the Talmud calls the Satanic Revolt. Enoch 1, chapter 6:16, tells us about the Watchers, 200 angels who descended to Mount Hermon. But here's the nugget nobody connects. Lucifer wasn't just leading a rebellion, he was attempting a hostile takeover through genetic contamination. The Aramaic text of Enoch uses the word Azazel repeatedly. This is the same name used in Leviticus 16 for the scapegoat. Why? Because Azazel, one of the chief watchers, taught humans the art of warfare, cosmetics, and sorcery. But the deeper layer, the Talmud, Yoma 67b, teaches that Azazel represents the complete removal of sin, sent to a cut-off place, Eretz Gezerah, a land of separation. Lucifer's strategy from the beginning was contamination and separation. He couldn't overthrow God, Isaiah 14:12-15 shows us he tried, so he did the next best thing. He went after God's beloved creation, humanity. If he could corrupt the genetic line, he could prevent the Messiah from coming. No Messiah, no redemption, no redemption. He wins by default. Isaac Newton's chronological calculations. Here's where it gets wild. Isaac Newton wasn't just a physicist. He was a biblical chronologist who spent more time on theology than calculus. In his unpublished manuscript, Observations upon the Prophecies of Daniel and the Apocalypse of St. John, Newton calculated that Lucifer's fall occurred approximately 4,000 years before the Incarnation. Newton wrote, "The dragon is that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. His fall from heaven represents his loss of power over the saints and his being bound in the bottomless pit." Newton understood something critical. The dragon's defeat wasn't a future event when he wrote. It was a past legal transaction being played out in earthly time. The astrophysical evidence. Now let's talk cosmos. Job 38:7 tells us the morning stars sang together at creation. The Hebrew kokeb boker, morning stars, is both literal and figurative. It refers to celestial bodies and angelic beings. When Lucifer fell, Jesus said in Luke 10:18, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." The Greek word astrope means lightning, but it also implies a cosmic electrical discharge. Modern astrophysics has discovered that when massive celestial objects are expelled from gravitational fields, they create electromagnetic disturbances visible across light years. The fall of Lucifer wasn't just spiritual, it had astrophysical implications. The book of Revelation repeatedly uses celestial imagery, stars falling from heaven. Rev 6:13, 8:10, 9, 1:12, 4. These aren't just poetic metaphors. The ancients understood that spiritual realities manifest in material dimensions. When Revelation 12:4 says, "His tail drew a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth," we're looking at both. 1/3 of the angelic host joining the rebellion. Talmud Bava Batra 75a confirms this number. A cosmic event that altered the physical heavens. The Zohar's dark mirror revelation. The Zohar, Parashat Bereshit 1:35b-36a, contains a terrifying revelation about what happened when Lucifer fell. It describes the creation of the Sitra Achra, the other side, a dark mirror realm where evil has its dominion. The text says, "When the serpent came upon Eve, he cast filth into her." But the Aramaic word zuhama doesn't just mean moral filth. It means spiritual DNA corruption, a contamination that would pass through generations. This is the black heart of Satan's strategy. He couldn't defeat God directly, so he infected the covenant line. Genesis 3:15 becomes the central prophecy. "I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel." Notice, there are two seeds in conflict. The dragon's seed, corrupted humanity, genetic tampering, the Nephilim, versus the woman's seed, the pure messianic line culminating in Christ. From covering cherub to Nachash, the serpent transformation, here's where linguistics explodes everything. The Hebrew word for serpent in Genesis 3 is Nachash, Nahash. But this word doesn't just mean snake. Its root meanings include to hiss or whisper, psychological warfare through suggestion, to practice divination, occult spiritual power, to shine brightly, remnant of Lucifer's former glory. The Aramaic Targum Onkelos translates Genesis 3, one describing the serpent as Huya, which emphasizes its supernatural intelligence and cunning. This wasn't a garden variety reptile. The transformation from Lucifer to dragon to serpent represents progressive degradation. Lucifer equals sign light bearer, anointed covering cherub dragon equals sign, cosmic chaos creature, ancient enemy. Revelation 12:9 identifies them as the same being. Serpent equals sign, cursed to crawl on the ground, eat dust. Genesis 3:14. Each phase represents his demotion in authority and glory. But here's the critical point. His tactics evolved even as his power diminished. In the garden, he used deception and twisted theology. In the days of Noah, he used genetic contamination. In the days of Pharaoh, he used genocide against Hebrew children. In the days of Herod, he tried again to kill the Messiah as an infant. In Revelation 12, we see his final desperate strategy. The Talmudic testimony of cosmic war, the Babylonian Talmud, Sanhedrin 29a, contains a fascinating discussion about the timing of Satan's accusations. It states that Satan acts as prosecutor before God's throne, but his access is limited during certain appointed times, specifically during Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Why does this matter? Because Revelation 12:10 says, "The accuser of our brethren, who accused them before our God day and night, has been cast down." The Talmud understood that Satan's role as accuser would one day be terminated. The rabbis debated when, but they knew it was coming. John saw in vision the exact moment it happened, at the cross and resurrection of Messiah. 2025. Connection, the dragon's final rage strategy. Here's why understanding Satan's black heart matters right now in 2025. Want to know rest of story? I have an ebook on embraceamazing.org or Amazon that will make a bald man grow curls. No disrespect. I just know you will say, "Lady, you just blew my mind."